Hello everyone. This is a video on how to start and complete your Unit 2 project, creating your own crime scene. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go into classwork and open up the template for the Unit 2 final project, which you see is in week 10, November 16th through the 20th, and it's the last item here on the assignment. So you want to click on that. It's going to bring you to a blank document that looks something like this. Your task is to fill it in with parts of your original own ideas of your crime scene that you're going to create. Okay, so I'm going to go through an example in this video. That way you can have some ideas of how to complete your crime scene. Your crime scene can either be virtual, that is, it is made on the computer with photos, or you can set it up and it can be somewhere in your living environment, set up with materials that you have around you. So either or works. Okay, so if we take a look at my example, it says crime scene number. That can be any number you want. That's just 574. That's the number of crime scenes I've done in my career. Processed by myself, Ms. Villarreal. All right, you write your name there. Then the second slide is going to ask you the equipment needed. And it says, type all the items you would need to conduct an investigation. So we're kind of planning our crime scene a little bit backwards, talking about the items we would need to do the investigation. So you list 5 to 10 items. So here you can see I have some examples. These are all items that I would need to do a crime scene investigation, such as the bodysuit, gloves, fingerprint brush and powder, flashlight, caution tape. You can have other items on here depending on your own crime scene. All right, the next thing we're going to think about is the crime scene location. Where did the crime occur? So for my example, I said Grand Theft Auto occurred on the corner of Park Ave and Chandler Street. I would set up a perimeter 1 block up each of the streets in all directions. All right, so I tell you what happened, I tell you where it happened, and I tell you where I put up my caution tape. Okay, so my crime is a robbery, particularly of a car. So now we're starting to think, okay, so I have what happened, where it happened. Now I need to think and what tools I need to investigate my crime scene. So now I'm going to think about weapons and evidence that have been left at my crime scene. This is all based on your own creativity, your own crime that you are going to create. So what I don't want to see is all Grand Theft Autos on Park Ave and Chandler Street, because that's my crime scene. You have to think of your own. So, nope, no weapon was found at the crime scene. Maybe the person who robbed the car still has their weapon on them, or maybe they didn't use a weapon or don't have a weapon. The evidence that was left behind at my crime scene: a car, some hairs, fibers, the car jack, a hoodie, and fingerprints. All right, so I'm planning all the evidence that I have at my crime scene. That way I can create it. Okay. And so, because it would not be wise for me to go set up a crime scene on Park and Chandler, if you want to do it outside on a street like where you live, that works. That would be a great idea. But so, as an example of a virtual crime scene, I have created one with photos from the computer. So I searched for a photo of Park Ave and Chandler, and I got this. All right, and then I found a photo of a car, and I put it here. Okay, and then I put some caution tape, boom, boom, blocked it off. So this is my overview photo. It's wide, it has every piece of evidence in it, and it shows the whole crime scene. Next, you're going to want to put a mid-range shot. So you're going to get a little bit closer into your crime scene. So my closer is inside the car, actually. And so I have my hoodie, and if you look very closely, let me magnify it for you. You can see, oh my goodness, there's some hairs that were left on the hoodie. Maybe the car robber took off their hoodie and those hairs got stuck while they were removing their jacket. All right, so that's my mid-range shot, because it's a little bit closer, but it's still not a close-up. All right, and then maybe I have a close-up of my steering wheel with some fingerprints on it. All right, so that would be my close-up, and I would then put some fingerprints here so we could see it a little bit better. Okay. After you have all your photos, whether you set it up yourself or you just find them online, you're going to give me a description of one piece of evidence from your crime scene. Okay, just one. So I chose the steering wheel for this example, and I'm going to explain it in really, really, really great detail. Okay, as much of details that I can think of. We're thinking of the size, we're thinking about the shape, we're thinking about, is it damaged, the color, the location, all of those things that we've been working on in our detailed writing. So the steering wheel is a light gray color. It is round with control buttons on the middle bar of the wheel. The steering wheel also has a metallic Audi symbol in the middle. There's no apparent damage to the steering wheel. There are 3 fingerprints on the wheel, 1 fingerprint on the right side and 2 fingerprints on the left side of the steering wheel. You can see a lot of information about just that one item, the steering wheel. You can choose any piece of evidence that you have listed. Preferably it's one that you've photographed. All right, and we're almost there to the end. So then the evidence you would collect and what future tests you would run to then link to suspects. So I would collect the hair to examine under a microscope to match a suspect. I could also definitely get the fingerprints, right? So I could write that as part of mine. And then suspects, a street camera caught one figure running from the crime scene. All right, so these are added details from my own creative brain that I put into my crime scene. So you can have different pieces of evidence. You should have different pieces of evidence, different suspects. You can name your suspects. You can have 1, you can have 20. It's up to you. Lastly, solving the crime. If the crime scene was solved, what would the investigator know? So what actually happened? So this is where you tell me what happened, who did it, why did they did it, and what evidence do we have at the crime scene that we would know that. Okay. One final thing I'm going to end with is this website. This is how you can remove a background from the visuals of your photos to make it look more realistic. So instead of adding a car here, you can see I can move it because I got this car, but it doesn't have a background. It's transparent, so it fits in perfectly. So if you want to use that, and same with my tool here and the caution tape, use that website. It'll make your photos look more realistic. All right, so this is here ends the video on how to create your own crime scenes. I hope you have fun, and I can't wait to see what you create.